welcome back to the Beach Bum Bookworm. I am Tiffany. I'm so glad you all found me again today. My channel is all about cozy mysteries and romance, and today we are starting a new spotlight. So I am spotlighting Cozies today, and our spotlight is... That's my drum roll if you didn't get that. Bed, breakfast, inns, and hotels. Anything that kind of fits into that genre. I'm so excited about it. Let me know which of these you read, which of these that you want to read, if I miss anything, because there's not a whole lot of these. Like I guess I thought that there was more in my head than what there is. So authors, give us some more, because I love books that act like bed and breakfast and inns and hotel books. So yes, give us some more of those, and anything else that you want to talk about down there in the comments is the place to do that. Don't forget on your way down to comment to stop, hit the subscription and the notification bell, because that's going to tell you when I put out new videos each and every single week. All right, let's get to it. Our brand new spotlight. We're spotlighting bed, breakfast, inns, hotels in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, guys, couple announcements before we get into this list. So last night we did our first ever Cozy Knockout Challenge. It was so much fun, y'all. Thank you everyone for who participated. Thank you, Storm, for guest appearing with Cozy and I. Oh, I had such a blast. And the winner of the first ever Cozy Mystery Knockout Challenge, I really do need a drum roll, like an official, I'm gonna think about this, was Penny Dreadful by Catherine Bruns. It'll be right here. So the Penny Dreadful, the winner of that culinary knockout, will face off against next month's book Cozy Mystery Knockout Challenge. So the books for May are, okay. The first one is Books Can Be Deceiving by Jen McKinley. It's the first in the Library Lovers mystery series. It'll be right here. This book will be facing off against the first book in the Magical Bookshop mystery series by Amanda Flower, which is called Crime and Poetry. It'll be right here. And our book club pick for May is one I'm super excited about. It is Death Becomes Her by Nancy Coco. It's right here. All right, guys. And I just want to tell you about the interviews I have coming up for next weekend. So on the 24th, I'm interviewing V. M. Burns. Super excited about that one. She has the Bookshop Mystery Series and the Dog Club Mystery Series. Check those out and join us next Saturday at 2 p.m. It's going to be so much fun. And then on Sunday at 2 p.m., I am interviewing Catherine Bruns, who wrote Penny Dreadful, which was the winner of our Culinary Mystery Knockout Challenge. So she also writes the Cookies and Chance series, which I absolutely love that one. So check all those out and come join us on Saturday and Sunday for those great author interviews. Now we're getting into the spotlight. The first series is the Hemlock Falls series by Claudia Bishop. Book 1 is called A Taste for Murder. It's right here. The main characters are Sarah and Megan Quilliam. They are the owners of an inn. One is a chef, one is the owner. I've read several of these, but it's been a while. I really liked the ones that I read. So Sarah, manager of the Hemlock Falls Inn, and her chef's sister, Meg, turned detective when a reenactment of the 17th century witch trials turns all too real when a mock execution leads to a very dead victim. 18 books in that series. Like I said, the ones that I read have been very good, but it's been a while since I've read them. I'll have to get caught up because I really enjoyed it. So the next series is the Wedding Planner Mystery Series. It's by Stephanie Blackmore. The first book is called Engaged in Death. It is right here. The main character is Mallory Shepard. It says she is a wedding planner and owns a B&B in Port Quincy, Pennsylvania. All appears peaceful in sleepy Port Quincy, Pennsylvania, but in this small town, old grudges die hard. After dumping her cheating fiancé and canceling the wedding, Mallory Shepard can't bear another disaster. So when the former bride-to-be unexpectedly inherits Thistle Park, a ramshackle mansion in her ex's hometown of Port Quincy, it's a problem she can't afford. Literally. Abound with stray cats, peeling wallpaper, and nosy neighbors, Mallory is dying to sell it off once she finally fixes up the place and her messy life. Turns out, Thistle Park has its charms, but the honeymoon phase is abruptly cut short when an unwanted visitor is found dead on the front lawn. Enlisting the help of her sister Rachel, Mallory vows to unveil the killer before she herself becomes married to the suspect list. It says there are 6 books in this series. It sounds really, really good, and the covers on them are fantastic. The next series I have read a few in. So I recently read book 1, but I had read a later book in this series because there was something going on that it made sense to read it. I'm not really sure. I enjoyed both books that I read. It is the Cajun Country Mystery Series by Ellen Byron. The first book is called Plantation Shutters. It's right here. It says the main character is Maggie Crozet. She is the manager of her family's plantation turned bed and breakfast, and this series takes place in Louisiana. Check in for some Southern hospitality in Plantation Shutters, the Cajun Country series debut from Ellen Byron. It's the end of the summer, and prodigal daughter Maggie Crozet has returned home to her family's plantation turned bed and breakfast in Louisiana. The Crozets have an inn full of guests for the local food festival. Elderly honeymooners, the Cajun Cuties, a mysterious stranger from Texas, a couple of hipster lovebirds, and a trio of Georgia frat boys. But when the elderly couple keels over dead within minutes of each other, one from very unnatural causes, Maggie and her family suddenly become suspects in a murder. With the help of Beau Durand, the town's handsome and new detective, Maggie must investigate to clear her name while holding the family business together at the same time. And the deeper she digs, the more she wonders, are all of the guests really there for a vacation, or do they have ulterior motives? Decades-old secrets and stunning revelations abound in Ellen Byron's charming, cozy debut. 7 books in that series. Like I said, I've read this one fairly recently, and I read a later book in the series a while back for something. I enjoyed both of them. It is a lot of fun. The family's amazing. It's just, the setting is awesome. Check it out. The next series is the Grace and Favor series. The main characters are Robert and Lily Brewster. They are a brother and sister team in the 1930s. This series takes place in New York, and they own a boarding house. This is by Jill Churchill. The first book is called Anything Goes. It's right here. It says, they have inherited a lovely upstate mansion. The crash of 1929 has ended the party for high-living New Yorkers Lily Brewster and her brother Robert, and takes them from the upper side of the idle rich and deposits them to the lowly depths of the disillusioned poor. However, rescue arrives in the form of their recently deceased great-uncle Horatian, who bequeaths to them Grace and Favor Cottage, which is really a great sprawling mansion. And then there's a fortune to go with it, but only if they reside there for 10 years. With no other alternative, the spirited Manhattanites move to a quiet and quaint Hudson River community and try to fit in. But they soon find out that great Uncle Horatio didn't die peacefully. He was murdered while on an elaborate sailing party on the Hudson River aboard his yacht, and Lily and Robert are suspects. But when another corpse appears in the kitchen of the mansion, the siblings are determined to clear themselves. Without a clue of how to begin, Lily and Robert start snooping, unaware of their savvy sleuthing can make the killer's next target. 6 books in that series. It sounds fantastic. I don't know. The idea of a boarding house in the 1930s is super intriguing to me. Somebody let me know if they've read that series. The next series is called the Haunted Guest House Mystery Series. It's by E.J. Copperman. The first book is called Night of the Living Deed. It's right here. The main characters are Allison Kirby, who is a divorced single mom and a guest house owner, and Paul and Maxie, ghosts on the Jersey Shore. Okay, so the main character, Alex Kirby, who's a divorced mom and owns a guest house, and Paul and Maxie, who are ghosts, I assume, at the guest house in the Jersey Shore. Let's read the synopsis because I don't know exactly what's going on here. Home repair meets haunted happenings in the first charming, hilarious haunted guest house mystery. Newly divorced, Allison Kirby wants a second chance for herself and her 9-year-old daughter. So she returns to her hometown on the Jersey Shore to transform a fixer-upper into a charming and hopefully profitable guest house. Okay, so I was on the right track. All right. But when a bump on the head leaves her seeing not only stars but spirits, Allison realizes the real challenge she's facing is out of this world. The two residing ghosts are Maxie Malone, the foul-tempered former owner of the house, who has definite opinions about Allison's design plans, and Paul Harrison, a private eye who'd been working for Maxie. Both died in the house on the same night. The official cause of death was suicide, but the ghosts insist they were murdered, and they need Allison to find out who killed them, or the next ghost in the guest house will be Allison herself. 10 books in that series. Oh my gosh, I am definitely checking that out. It sounds fantastic. Y'all know I just dabble in paranormal, but depending on how thick it is, it really does sound like something I would enjoy. I like the idea of Maxie, who's always giving her issues with her design plans. That sounds hilarious. But I gotta tell you, if two people died in the same house that I just inherited on the same night, I'm out. I wouldn't be fixing it up. I'm done. I'm out, guys. All right. That just sounds great. I'm totally checking it out. The next series, I couldn't find a synopsis about it, guys, but I wanted to include it. It was called the Country Inn Dead and Breakfast Mystery Series. There are 2 books in this series. The first book is called Country Inn Dead and Breakfast. It's right here. It's by Tina Zarnoda? Is it Zarnoda? Something along that line. I hope I'm not butchering the name. I'm sorry. If you know how to pronounce it, let me know in the comments below. Again, I couldn't find any synopsis about it, but it sounds really, I like the name. A Country Inn sounds intriguing, so I had to include it. The main character says that they own a bed and breakfast. That's all I know. So the next series is the Kat Latimer series. It is by Lynn Cahoon, and the first book is called A Story to Kill. It is right here. This one, the main character is Kat Latimer. They are a former English professor and owner of a bed and breakfast in Colorado. I was really excited when I read the location because I think we've talked about, there's only a few series I can think of that take place in Colorado. The Goldie Bear, and then there was 1 or 2 others because I've talked about it recently. And I don't know why, but there is, but again, it's minimal. So I was really excited to see the setting. And I love Lynn Cahoon. I've read most of the Tourist Trap. I don't think I'm caught up, but I think I only have maybe 1 or 2 before her new book comes out in August. So I'm fairly a good chunk along in the series. I've read both 0.5 and 1 of the Kitchen Witch series, which was her brand new series. Absolutely loved it. Read book 1 in the Farm and Fork. Enjoyed that one too. So this one I'm excited about because she's got a good track record with me. I like Lynn Cahoon's writing. So here we go. It says, English professor Kat Latimer thought she'd left Colorado behind for good, along with her carousing ex-husband. But now, much to her surprise, she's inherited their former house in Aspen Hills. Turning the old Victorian into an ideal writer's getaway is a dream come true for Kat. And with best-selling author Tom Cook joining her for her first writer's retreat, her cozy bed and breakfast is off to a great start. But that all changes when Tom meets an untimely end. Ooh. Now, Kat's other guests, a colorful group of aspiring writers, are colorful, always gets me, are suspects in a shocking murder. Plenty of plots are uncovered when Kat's uncle, the local police chief, starts asking questions. But when Kat's own backstory gets tangled up in the investigation, she'll have to act fast to clear her name and keep a killer from getting the last word. 6 books in that series. Sounds great. So that was our A through C spotlighting cozies in bed and breakfast. However, I've also been really researching indie cozy mystery series because I've really found some great ones myself. And so I'm like more up on how to, find those. And there's so many of them that I really wanted to research specifically those two because they're not on a lot of the lists when I go to make my spotlights. I go to a few different sites that I love and I'm very faithful to, but they include mostly like traditionally published books, which is great. But there's also some really great indies. So I had to go on a treasure hunt, on a search for other ones, and I found some. These are not in alphabetical order. I'm going to include a few of them every spotlight. So in my next spotlight, when I cover D, E, and F, I'm going to also at the end of those include some of the indie authors that I find. Hope that makes sense. The first one is called the Seaside Cove Bed and Breakfast Mystery Series. This is by Terry Ambrose, who is a male author. And I only point that out because I'm excited about more representation from just what we normally have, which is honestly white women, which is perfectly fine. But I just want us to, be more diverse, like everything else. We're always striving to grow and become more diverse, I hope. And I love to see that there are some male cozy authors. So the first book is called A Treasure to Die For. It's right here. A sunken Spanish galleon brings 8 treasure hunters and murder to quaint Seaside Cove. Okay, time out. I just have to say this. I love treasure hunting stuff. Absolutely love it. And when I was a kid, I was super obsessed with like anything like that. Those like choose your own adventures okay. Banded gold and sunken pirate ships. What could be better for the reputation of a quaint coastal California town like Seaside Cove? Local eyebrows go up when 8 friends come searching for a 16th century Spanish galleon. After all, everybody knows there's no such thing as Spanish gold off this part of the California coast. The group's visit turns ugly when a killer strikes and leaves Seaside Cove Bed and Breakfast owner Rick Atwood with a trunk full of questions. Who murdered one of his guests? Will his precious 10-year-old daughter stop interfering in his investigation? Oh my gosh. And can he squelch the latest town gossip, which is, of course, can Rick and his daughter do what the cops can't and solve the crime? 5 books in that series. I am checking that one out. Let me know if you've read it already. Sounds fabulous. The next one is the Paranormal Bed and Breakfast Mystery Series. This is by Joynell Schultz. The first book is called Magically Murdered. It's right here. 2 murdered chefs, 1 undercover witch, 0 time to waste. Kyla knows a lot about magic, but knows nothing about creating magic in the kitchen. When the police hire her to go undercover as Moonstruck Manor's newest culinary mastermind and investigate the mysterious deaths of the Manor's 2 former breakfast chefs, she's in for a world of trouble. Whipping up a spell is one thing, but making crepe Suzette is another completely. With the bed and breakfast full of suspects, including a gardener who knows a bit too much about magical toxic herbs, a housekeeper embroiled in a salacious affair with both victims, oh my goodness, and the handsome innkeeper who's obviously hiding a secret, Kyla will need more than magic to solve this case. I think that this sounds like so much fun. 3 books in that series. I will definitely be checking it out. Gosh, there's a lot of good ones. The next one is called A Teaberry Farm Bed and Breakfast Cozy Series. The first book is called Tempest in Teaberry. It's right here. This series is by R.A. Wallace. It says, Megan Bennett, owner of the Teaberry Farm B&B, turns amateur sleuth when a wedding guest is murdered. With the help of her friends, Megan untangles the clues to help solve the mystery. This mild, cozy mystery series offers a clean read with a female amateur sleuth and friends in a small town setting. Megan is one of the main characters in this series, but interacts with a wide range of other characters in the fictional town of Teaberry. A difficult first marriage ended in the accidental death of her husband. Oh no. She supports herself with her B&B and produce from her farm, and her tech skills as a web developer. Main characters in this series are multi-generational. It says there's 35 books in that series, y'all, and I've never heard of it. Talk about a hidden gem if it's something that we enjoy. 35 books in a backlist? Holy moly, I'm checking it out. So the next series is called the Fiona Fleming Cozy Mystery Series. The first book is called Bed and Breakfast and Murder. It's right here. This series is by Patty Larson. It says, peace and quiet can be murder. Fiona Fleming had hoped inheriting her grandmother's bed and breakfast and returning home to quiet Reading, Vermont would be a welcome escape from the city life in New York and her cheating ex-boyfriend. She figured the most excitement she'd face would be making beds, pesky customers, and the awful stench coming from her grandmother's ornery pug Petunia. Instead, she finds herself elbow deep in clogged toilets, the town's blackmailer floating belly up in her fish pond, and she's the prime suspect? Oh my gosh. She's soon looking for answers in the seedy side of the tiny town and winds up in dangers she never even faced in the city. While she is surrounded with help from the odd cast of characters in this bizarre town, she's not sure who she can trust. Her backup, however, consists of her flighty yet fashionable childhood friend and her grandmother's nosy neighbor and her beloved father who seems to have secrets of his own. Then there's the buried treasure she can't figure out how to get her mind off how great the new sheriff's backside looks in his uniform. Can Fiona uncover the truth before the handsome sheriff puts her behind bars instead of asking her out? 13 books in that series. Sounds like a hoot, and it sounds like there's some great, quirky side characters. I am there for it. The next series is the Paradise Bed and Breakfast Mystery Series by A.R. Winters. The first book is called Cake Tastings and Killers. It's right here. Says, wedding photographer Laura Fisher is back in the Florida Keys to help her sister manage the Paradise Bed and Breakfast. Business has been slow, but when a guest is poisoned at a cake tasting, they're in danger of going under. It doesn't help that Laura confronted the victim, her high school boyfriend Charlie Porter, in front of the entire wedding party, declaring he'd answer for his actions one day. Oh no. Charlie taunts her and laughs off the entire exchange, but the joke's over when Laura becomes a prime suspect for his murder. With her sister Danielle and Granny Margaret on her side, Laura's prepared to confront her past to catch the real killer and prove she's innocent. If she can't, not only will she be branded a murderer, the struggling Paradise B&B's reputation will be ruined and her family will be forced to sell the property. 2 books in that series. That sounds really cute too. All right, guys, here's our last one. It is the Liz Lucas Cozy Mystery Series by Diane Harmon. The first book is called Murder in Cottage number 6. It's right here. A Murdered Mayor's Wife, Facials Gone Wrong, Secrets at the Spa. Oh my gosh, I'm liking this too. Liz, a widow, feels like she's been given a second chance at life by owning a successful spa located in a beautiful area on the Pacific coast north of San Francisco. The fact she's found a romantic interest only adds to the new beginning. What could possibly go wrong? Well, for starters, discovering that a spa guest has been murdered. Yeah, that's a veer off the path of, yeah. In order to save the spa's reputation, Liz, along with her 2 dogs, Brandy Boy and Winston, has to find the killer. The cast of characters includes a handyman, spa employees, the bumbling police chief, the owner of Gertie's Diner, the dead woman's husband, his girlfriend, and a Tiffany glass collector. One of them committed the murder, but Liz has to find out who before it's too late and she's the next victim. 13 books in that series. Also sounds fabulous. I hope you guys added some of these to your TBR. I know I did. Until next time, may all your future reads be 5 stars. Bye, everyone.